Welcome to Stage, Screen, and In Between with Helen. Today, I'm going to interview some of the cast of the upcoming Dracula at the Shawnee Playhouse. Stick with us.
I am Dracula.
Dracula. The very mention of the name brings to mind things so evil, so fantastic, so degrading. You wonder if it isn't all a dream, a nightmare. No, this is no dream. This is Dracula, the original terrifying story of a maniac and a man who lived after death, lived on human blood, took the form of a vampire bat, and lured innocent girls to a fate truly worse than death.
Hello, and welcome to Stage, Screen, and In Between with Helen. I'm Helen. Today, we're at the fabulous Shawnee Playhouse, and they're getting ready to put up Dracula, and I'm here with Dracula right now. I'm here with Luke Swarchek, otherwise known as Dracula. How you doing, Luke? This is a big role for you, right?
Yes, I have been dreaming of playing this role since I was a child.
So you know a lot about Dracula, right? You're familiar with the history. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about Dracula's history?
Well, contrary to popular belief, the character of Dracula in Bram Stoker's novel is not based on the real-life historical figure of Vlad the Impaler, who also named Dracula. Bram Stoker chose the name Dracula arbitrarily because it sounded scary and exotic. But Dracula in the play and in the book that the play is based on is the oldest and most powerful vampire. He feeds on the blood of the living in order to sustain himself, and he has bled his own native country of Transylvania dry and has decided now that the play takes place in 1927 and the airplane exists, he can now cross Europe at night when his powers are still with him and it's safe for him. So he relocates to England, buys a house called Carfax Abbey next to Dr. Seward's sanatorium, and he sets his sights on two young girls, Mina and then her best friend, Lucy Seward, the daughter of Dr. Seward, who runs the sanatorium, and he is slowly converting her into a vampire, his future bride. And the question is, will the rest of the characters be able to stop him?
Oh, so the premise is who's going to stop Dracula? Now, Dracula lived in a castle, right? What castle was the name of that, do you know?
I do not recall the name of the castle offhand, but
I'm surprised that Dracula traveled on a plane. I never even thought of him leaving the grounds of where he lived.
it all boils down to the idea of new technology and whatever paranoia it spreads at the time. When the book was published in 1897, it was assumed the only way that he could travel would be by ship, so he travels by ship. But when the play was published in 1927, post-World War I, suddenly everybody was afraid of foreign other dangers coming by airplane. So naturally they incorporated that into the play. They updated the time and said, imagine how much more damage he could do if he could travel by airplane.
Wow, that's the truth. So this play is going up right before Halloween, and it's the perfect time of year. Do you think people think Dracula's scary?
Oh, definitely. There is a reason why the story keeps getting adapted to film and stage over and over again, and there are countless actors who have played the part. Everybody has their favorites. Bela Lugosi, Christopher Lee, Gary Oldman, you name it. Somebody has a favorite.
Are there such things as vampires?
Well, I know Christopher Lee would say you would only have to check the film industry. I think there are vampires in the figurative sense of the word, but not necessarily literal, but that's just me.
So now have you worked at the Shawnee Playhouse before?
Shawnee Playhouse has been my home away from home since my first internship here in the summer of 2009.
Oh, so this is home away from home for you. So is this the first time, though, you're playing Dracula?
No, I have played Dracula in another show, in an original comedy back in 2011 called Hallowed Wedding.
Oh, But that was a comedy, so this is the real thing now.
Yes, this is the original script that was produced with Bela Lugosi himself at the Fulton Theater in 1927.
Wow, so this is really a historic piece that we're going to get to see. Do you want to shout out a website where people can follow you? Do you have a website?
Yes, you can follow me at www.lukeswarchek.com, and you could also follow me on Facebook. I do have my own page, Luke Swarchek Voice Actor. Oh. And of course, you can always follow the Shawnee Playhouse either on its own website, shawneeplayhouse.org, or follow it on Facebook and other social media platforms.
Thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to seeing the show, and we're going to be able to put up a couple of clips. I'm here now with Colleen Popper, and she's playing the role of Lucy. So tell us something about your role.
So, a little bit of backstory about the character. Originally, my character's name, if you were to read the book or to see a couple of movie adaptations, the character's name was originally Mina Murray. But with this play version from that was published in 1927, they combined the characters of Mina and her best friend Lucy and kind of combined them into one character. So now my character is called Lucy Seward, and she is the daughter of Dr. Seward, the doctor.
Oh, okay. So now Dracula is making advances towards you. Are you aware of that?
No, but she does have a very faint sort of feeling of attraction towards him, even though she doesn't know why she feels this way towards him. She definitely feels something towards him, but it is definitely not on her part. It was more of like a hypnosis.
Oh, okay. So now, do you know anything about the era in which this was first shown, like in the 1920s? Are you familiar with the way women lived and the households, etc.?
I know a little bit about the history of that. I know women back then, they were expected to marry young.
Okay. Well, now, have you played in plays here at the Shawnee Playhouse before, prior?
I have. I have done plays here since 2019.
Really? I know they put on a fantastic show, and it's really the acting that comes across. Can you tell us something about the history of the Shawnee Playhouse? Are you familiar at all?
It was established as the Worthington Hall back in the early 1900s, I believe. And then down the line, a few years from then, it eventually turned into the Shawnee Playhouse once the Kirkwood families bought it in the 1970s. So they also own the Shawnee Inn that is right, not even like a mile down the road. Right. And once they own the inn, they also bought the Playhouse, and they are kind of like the producers of it as well.
Yeah, okay. So now, is your aspiration to be an actress full-time?
Eventually, yes. I would like to do that. I can't see myself doing anything else.
Yeah. Are you also a singer?
Yes. Only like certain parts, certain genres. I'm not a pop singer at all. I do a lot of classical music and kind of opera in a way, but.
And your husband is also an actor?
He is. He actually did theater kind of full-time in New York. He actually grew up and was originally from New York City. And then he went to New York Film Academy for a year and got his acting certificate, and then did acting for like 4 years on off Broadway stuff, and then eventually he kind of stopped that and then went back to school for his history degree, and now he's going for his master's.
Good for him, good for him. And his name is?
His name is Joe Grahek.
Okay, we got Joe Grahek in here now. Now, how important is it for you to perform at the Shawnee Playhouse?
I love performing here. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of theatrical productions that are around in the area. For a lot of the local people, it's very hard to, like myself, to find plays to do outside of in New York City. Right. I do a lot of shows also down in the Allentown area, but that is also like kind of a drive. Yes. Everywhere else, for me, it's either a drive or it's finding some way to be able to get there. So I'm very fortunate that the Shawnee Playhouse is here. I'm only like a 10-minute drive away, and then I get to do what I love. Yes. Every day after work. Yes. So.
And are you excited about playing Lucy in Dracula?
Yes, very much so. It's a different kind of role for me. I'm used to doing the character roles, like the comical ones. Like in Shakespeare, I do a lot of Shakespeare. I play the comedic sidekick in a lot of those. And this is a role for me that I haven't really done too much, and it's really challenged me as an actor. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity that it has given me.
That's terrific. We all love a challenge. Thank you so much, Colleen.
Thank you.
I'm with Mike Morano, who plays Dr. Seward, Lucy's dad. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing well, thank you.
How are rehearsals going?
Rehearsals are doing good. It's my first time also directing in about 40-plus years. But,
wow. So you're also the director.
Yes.
How many are in the cast?
7, I believe. We just added one more, so.
Oh, is it difficult for you to direct and to act?
I have one of the other castmates is helping me. She's like assistant directing, so that when I'm on stage, she can provide me with notes and tips. And
what's her name?
That's Amy Kramer.
Okay.
And she's also a wonderful actress, and she's playing the maid.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so now when you had auditions, did you have to audition for your role?
No, I've been asking Midge for a while, the executive director of the Shawnee Playhouse, to do Dracula for quite a while. I've wanted to do this. I did it many, many years ago and directed it, and this is something that I've wanted to do probably for the past 4 or 5 years.
Okay, so what's your attraction to Dracula?
I've just always loved the play. When I was a kid, watching the Bela Lugosi movie always scared the daylights out of me. Even where Dracula was in with Abbott and Costello would just make me scared. I would get scared even though...
Even the comedy's scary.
Yeah. And then when I saw the Frank Langella version and then the Gary Oldman version, the Bram Stoker's Dracula, I've just always been fascinated with the show.
Okay. And so what are some of the obstacles that you have to overcome when you put on a play like this?
Just basically learning lines, I think, is the biggest obstacle. This is a play where there are not a lot of characters, so everyone has a lot of lines. Mm-hmm. And so that you want to do the best you can with that. And then just trying to create good vignettes and good images for everyone to watch.
Yeah. So has Dracula ever been put on here before? No.
I don't believe so, no.
Oh, okay. So they put on a lot of musicals here at the Shawnee Playhouse. So this is something a little unique, and it's just so perfect for the Halloween season because it's scary.
Yes, and that's pretty much the whole point. Hopefully they bring some kids, and because it's definitely a PG show, and they can have a lot of fun.
So tell us a little bit more about being Lucy's dad.
Well, Lucy's dad is also a doctor, Dr. Seward, and he is what they call in the play an alienist, and he is trying to figure out why certain things are going on, and I don't want to say too much, but why certain things are going on and how to help his daughter. So now how many shows have you done here at the Playhouse? Here at the Playhouse, I've probably done 7 or 8, maybe.
Okay. And now, are you also a singer?
Yes, that's my primary love is singing and music. I I've been singing since I'm a little kid, and gave it up for about 30 years and came back to it.
Oh, okay. Do you have a website where we can follow you or find out more?
Not really. I just have my Facebook page, Mike Morano, and we're looking into putting up a website, but we haven't done it yet because I just finished recording an album. So
Oh, good for you. And what's the name of the album?
it's going to be called Moments.
Moments. And what kind of music is it?
A lot of ballads. I do a lot of Frank Sinatra, not on this album, but a lot of ballad type songs. And I'm trying to move away from that just a little bit. My musical director, who does all my my piano and arranging, we're trying to get a little more upbeat stuff, but also do a lot of musicals. So
Okay, good for you. Okay, do you want to shout out the dates that we can come to the Shawnee Playhouse and see Dracula?
absolutely, we open on October 28th at 8 p.m. Then on the 29th, we have a show at 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. And then on the 30th, we close at 2 p.m., have a final show.
Okay, terrific. Break a leg, guys.
Thank you very much.
I'm here now with Jules Ginro, and he just had a role change. So, Jules, tell everybody what your role was and what it's going to be now.
Thank you. So, hi, my name is Jules. I was playing the attendant, also known as Butterworth, and now I'm moving into the role of John Harker.
Okay, so now who is John Harker in regard to Dracula?
So, John Harker is Lucy's soon-to-be husband.
Oh. So he's not going to like the idea of Dracula coming around, right?
You would think that. It's just that he's not really in the know at the beginning, because at first he hears that he's visiting Lucy, and then eventually he figures out what's going on behind the scenes, if you know what I mean.
Yes, yes. And I guess you can't tell us what he does about that because then you'd give away the plot, right?
Yeah, I would probably be giving away a little too much, but at first it just seems like that he's just doing friendly visits, nothing romantic.
So now, have you worked at the Shawnee Playhouse before?
I have. I did a couple of performances back in 2014, 2015. Then I went a few years without doing any, but then I came back in 2018, I believe. Yeah, it was 18. And then I also did an internship in 2019.
Oh, okay. Now, do you sing at all?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
And what are some of your favorite songs? Although this is not a musical, this is just a scary Dracula play.
So my favorite kind of musicals are like the silly kind. I also have a very soft spot for SpongeBob the musical.
Oh.
Yeah. In terms of singing, I'm more like a baritone bass range, and I could definitely do a number of different styles. Like hip hop is kind of like a bit more reserved, but I do definitely do some more of the classical singing.
Okay. Now, have you watched any of the Dracula movies on TV, the old-time movies?
I watched a couple of them, but it was a while ago.
What did you think of them?
I thought they were very well done. Like, considering the time period of what they had available to them, I was thoroughly impressed. Not only with their storyline, but just the visual effects that they were able to pull off during that time period.
Yeah, it's still very good to watch today. Well, thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the play.
All right, thank you so much.
I am with Amy Kramer, and she is the assistant director and also playing the role of the maid. Thank you so much, Amy, for taking the time.
Thank you for coming out to talk to us.
Oh, I'm so happy to come here. I love the Shawnee Playhouse.
Oh, we love it too. So fun here.
It is. It is a fun place and great, great talent. Always a great show. So, Amy, tell us something about what it's been like assistant directing Dracula.
Dracula, this script was written in 1927, so it's a vintage script, and it has so much to work with in it. people think of Dracula as being set in the Victorian era. It isn't. This particular production is set in the 1920s. It's kind of a pivotal plot point that Dracula flies here in an airplane.
Yes,
So
I had mentioned that to. I spoke about it with one of the other actors when he mentioned that. I never even thought of Dracula being on a plane. So that is interesting.
So that is a difference from some of the more traditional or other interpretations of the Bram Stoker's novel. The Shawnee Playhouse production has come together very fast. We're thrilled with the talent we have. And I'd like to introduce Jules, who is playing the attendant.
Yes, he come
talk
forward.
with
I did
Jules?
interview him. Yes.
So Jules and I on stage are pretty much the
You have to step in, Jules.
we're pretty much the comic relief for this
Flip
show.
over.
If you don't,
Come in, Jules.
yes, our job is to lighten the mood and get some laughs.
Yeah, well, he says he likes that. He likes to do comedy, right, Jules?
Absolutely.
So tell us some more about the play.
The play is made with a small cast. The playwright had a tremendous success with it when it came on Broadway in the 1920s, and he has given us a wealth of things to work with. There are pages and pages of what kind of lighting to use and how to make a special effect and what clothes are the people wearing. So really interactive playwright who gave us a lot to go on.
That's wonderful. He gave you a lot of stage direction and insight into it because he wanted to make sure it was done just right, right?
That's exactly it.
Yeah. So now, as a kid, did you watch Dracula movies?
All the time. Oh, yes. All the horror movies along with all the Japanese monster movies. Oh, yeah.
Right. Godzilla, etc.
Yeah, Godzilla versus Dracula. Did they ever make that movie?
Not really.
That would have been cool, though.
Yeah, right. Always time to do it now, right? So now, you said you have a small part as a maid. Do you usually do bigger roles?
I'm happy to play whatever role people give me. I've been working at Shawnee for a lot of years. I'm a founding member of the Shawnee Original Playwrights series. I'm particularly fond of original scripts, and I've played everything from goofy things like this all the way up to Shakespeare. So it's a hobby and it's a fun one, and I just love it.
Terrific. Do you have a website where we can follow you?
TheShawneePlayhouse.com.
Now that you have learned what you have learned, it would be well for you to return to your own country.
I prefer to remain and protect those whom you would destroy.
You are too late. My blood now flows through her veins. She will live through the centuries to come, as I have lived.
Should you escape us, Dracula, we know how to save Miss Mina's soul, if not her life.
If she dies by day, but I shall see that she dies by night.
And I will have Carfax Abbey torn down stone by stone, excavated a mile around. I will find your earth box and drive that stake through your heart.
I'm here now with Stephen Hellman, and he has the role of the professor. Professor, tell me your whole name.
Abraham Van Helsing is my name. My character's name. My name is Stephen Hellman, yeah?
Yeah. And what is your relationship to Dracula?
To Dracula, I am here to kill him, to destroy him, to eliminate him.
And how do you eliminate Dracula?
Dracula, the stake and the hammer, and one blow to the heart, and it's all over. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust.
Now, does this have to be done at night? Are vampires allowed out in the day?
That is a very good question, actually. I believe that they are powerless during the daytime, but they can walk around, but not our Dracula. No, he is allergic to sunlight. No.
He's allergic to sunlight.
Yeah.
So now, how do you track him down?
Well, he has earth boxes in each of his houses that he resides in, and he must return to these after sunrise, you see, because he cannot be out in the daytime.
Oh, okay. Professor, do you have a website where we can follow you?
For myself? No, I do not, because I am actually a dog trainer and a horse trainer in my spare time when I'm not killing vampires.
Okay, well, I think, we have another character here, and you are?
I am Renfield, the local lunatic.
And what's your real name?
My real name is Angelo Ravilla.
Angelo. And you are a lunatic? You don't look like a lunatic to me.
Oh, that's just because you haven't seen me yet.
Yep.
Yes, he's a
He's a lunatic.
He's a loony.